Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for being here with us. Today, I have a very special treat for you. I have Tony, who's actually going to be talking about the importance of getting a home inspection. So, Tony, thank you. I appreciate you being here.
No problem. Appreciate the invite.
I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
Very basic questions for the viewers out there who are either looking at selling a house
Okay.
or buying a house. So, tell us, when should a person actually get a home inspection?
Well, generally there's two times. The most common is for the buyer. They had just placed an offer on a house, the offer was accepted, and now they have their due diligence period to get the inspection done. So they should call and get that inspection on the schedule as quickly as possible because the standard is the 10 days. Other times we see people order inspections is on the listing side. Sometimes people want to have a pre-listing inspection. There's some benefits that go along with that, not only just knowing the condition of it, but there's some protection plans that we include with inspections that they can use to market the property as well.
Very nice.
So those are things we can touch on, a little bit later. I think today we're just focusing on the buyer side.
We are. We're going to focus on you, the buyer, and then of course we're going to have another segment for the people who are actually looking to list a property. Right now, we're trying to protect you who's trying to purchase your first property or your second property. But tell us, why is it so important for our consumers to actually get a home inspection? Why should they?
Well, oftentimes the things that we find wrong with a property are not usually the way the house was built.
Right.
It's usually the subsequent homeowners that have done modifications. They fancy themselves as an electrician or a plumber, and things kind of get added onto and spliced into. So a lot of times, what we find are just DIY things kind of gone wrong, and things that to the general person may not recognize these items, but it may not present itself as an issue until a little bit down the road. Probably one of the biggest things that we come across with home inspections are just signs of water intrusion issues. They could be either through the basement or through windows, siding penetrations, roof flashing issues. So there's a lot of opportunities in areas where water can get into a home. And myself and our inspectors are all trained to look for those signs. We use advanced tools such as the thermal imaging cameras and moisture meters in areas that we suspect are water intrusion areas, or possibly an area that's just highly susceptible to water intrusion.
That's very impressive. I mean, because anybody could actually go and heck, I finished a basement once, and
Yeah.
I looked at a Home Depot book, and that's
Yeah.
how I learned to actually do it. And I didn't do the greatest job. I know that it was my house.
Yeah, and many homeowners do finish the basements themselves. I did that with my first house too. But unfortunately, in some situations, the homeowner doing the basement themselves, kind of the weekend warrior project, they may not be properly addressing water intrusion issues. So there's definitely signs of or potential signs of water intrusion in basements that we look for.
What other services are available beyond the general home inspection?
Well, there's quite a few. The typical that people get are, the termite and the wood destroying insect inspection. Everyone calls it a termite, but it's more than that. It's anything wood destroying insect. It's carpenter ants, carpenter bees. There's different types of wood boring beetles as well as the termites. And then we have the radon testing. That's probably our most common add-on.
Okay.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer next to smoking. It's a carcinogen that comes up from the soil, and as you build a house, you kind of created a chimney.
Right.
So as heat rises up into the attic, you're pulling air out of your basement. So you're pulling that air out of the soil and up into your home. So radon test is something that can very quickly, within a matter of 2 days, get a snapshot of what the radon level is in the house.
Wow.
And whether or not something needs to be done about it. There are, a few experienced companies in the Valley. Ours, has been doing inspections since 2007. We do well over 1,000 inspections a year. Also, just what other credentials do they have? And what else can they provide? We're a one-house or one-stop shop, so we can provide you with pretty much every inspection service that you need.
That's impressive.
And then, what happens after the inspection? If you have an issue, with the house. A plumbing leak comes up, a sewer line backup, things that were working fine during the inspection, but now are not after.
Right.
So does the home inspection company provide any type of protection plans that cover these things? Us, for example, we have a 100-day inspection guarantee that covers the mechanicals of the home as well as any appliances less than 10 years old. We have a sewer guard protection that covers the sewer line from the house to the street. That gives you $4,000 in coverage if you move in and there's an issue with drainage and the plumber determines that there's a dislocation or a collapse or something like that in the sewer line. You have $4,000 coverage, for 90 days. Now, going back to the previous question, another ancillary service we do is we can actually do a sewer camera inspection of that line.
That's impressive.
If that inspection is done, that extends that sewer guard protection for up to 1 year.
Wow.
Versus just the 90 days. We do have a 5-year roof leak guarantee. It's another big one. So the roof, if we see no evidence of any active leakage during the inspection, you now have coverage for repair of the roof, not replacement, but repair of any area that is leaking. We also have a mold safe guarantee. If we don't see any visible evidence of mold anywhere in the house, but after you move in, oftentimes, especially with the seller has a lot of items stored in their closets or in the basement, and now all those things are removed, and now there's visible mold that wasn't visible at the time of inspection. There's also coverage there for cleanup of that mold up to $2,000.
There you have it. I know it's a little bit, but we're going to tune back at a future date and talk about different types of inspections. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like and share. Tony, thank you. See ya.
All right.
See you soon.